Welcome to Krishna Bedtime Stories with the sound of rainfall. Story 15, The Donkey Demon. Despite Krishna appearing to be just like a village boy, there were occasions when he proved himself to be the Supreme Personality of Godhead. One day, Krishna's dear friends, Sridharma, Subala, and Stoka Krishna, lovingly spoke to Krishna and Balaram. "Dear Balaram, you are very powerful. Your arms are very strong. Dear Krishna, you are very expert in killing all kinds of disturbing demons. Will you kindly note that just near this place there is a big forest of the name Talavana. This forest is full of palm trees, and all the trees are filled with fruits. Some are falling down, and some of them are very ripe, even in the trees. It is a very nice place, but because of a great demon, Denukasura, it is very difficult to go there. In fact, no one can go there and collect the fruits. Dear Krishna and Balaram, this demon is present there in the form of a donkey, and he is surrounded by similar demon friends who also assume the same shape. All of them are very strong, so it is very difficult to visit this forest. They don't want anybody else there. Dear brothers, you are the only persons who can go and kill such demons. Other than both of you, everyone is filled with fear. Not even animals go there, and no birds are sleeping in the trees. They have all left. One can only appreciate the sweet aroma that is coming from that place. It appears that up until now, no one has actually tasted the sweet fruits that grow there. Dear Krishna, to tell you frankly, we are very attracted by this sweet aroma. Dear Balaram, let us all go there and enjoy these fruits. The smell of the fruits is now spread everywhere. Can't you smell them too?" When Balaram and Krishna were thus petitioned by their smiling dear friends, they were inclined to please them, and they began to proceed towards the forest, surrounded by all their cowherd boyfriends. Immediately upon entering the Talavana forest, Balaram began to push and yank the trees with his arms, exhibiting the strength of an elephant. Because of this jerking, all the ripe fruits fell down onto the ground. Thud, thud, thud. Upon hearing the sound of the falling fruits, the demon Denukasura ran there with great force and haste, shaking the whole ground so that all the trees began to move as if there were an earthquake. The demon appeared first before Balaram and began to kick his chest with his hind legs. At first, Balaram did not say anything, but then the demon, with great anger, began to kick him more vehemently. This time, Balaram immediately caught hold of the legs of the donkey with one hand and, wheeling and spinning him around very fast, threw him up into the treetops. While he was being wheeled around by Balaram, the demon died. Balaram threw the demon's body into the biggest palm tree, but the demon's body was so heavy that the palm tree fell upon other palm trees, and one after another, several palm trees fell down. It appeared as if a great hurricane had passed through the forest, and all the trees were falling down one after another. After the demon was thrown up into the tree, all Denuka's demon friends immediately ran there and attacked Balaram and Krishna with great force. All these demon donkeys were different colours, but they were envious of Krishna and Balaram. They were determined to retaliate and avenge the death of their friend. But Krishna and Balaram began to catch each of the donkeys by the hind legs and exactly in the same way spin them around. Thus all the demoniac donkeys were killed by throwing them up into the palm trees. Because of all these dead bodies, there was a panoramic scene. It appeared as if clouds of various colours were assembled in the treetops. Hearing of this great incident, the demigods from the higher planets began to shower flowers on Krishna and Balaram, play their drums, and offer devotional prayers. When Krishna and Balaram and their friends returned home and entered the village of Vrindavan, they played their flutes, and the boys praised Krishna and Balaram's uncommon activities in the forest. Their faces were decorated with tilak and smeared with the dust raised by the cows, and Krishna's head was decorated with a peacock feather. Both he and Balaram played their flutes, and the young gopi girls who had been missing Krishna were joyous to see him returning to the village. All day they had been thinking of Krishna in the forest. When they saw Krishna returning, all their anxieties were immediately relieved, and they began to look at his face, the way drones hover over the honey of the lotus flower. Then Krishna and Balaram were immediately welcomed by their affectionate mothers, Yasoda and Rohini, who very nicely took care of their children by bathing and dressing them. They were then given delicious foods to eat, and they happily ate everything. After eating, they were seated nicely on clean bedding, and the mothers began to sing various songs of their activities. As soon as they sat down on the bedding, they very quickly fell fast asleep. In this way, Krishna and Balaram enjoyed Vrindavan life as cowherd boys. A few days after the killing of Denukasura, people began to come into the Talavana forest to collect the fruits. Cows, deers, and other animals began to return without fear and feed on the nice grasses growing there. Birds came and made nests in the trees, and Talavan forest was beautiful. Sweet dreams of the cowherd boy Krishna, his brother Balaram, and all the residents of Vrindavan.